I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about audio and some of the decisions that we've made and some of the different choices that we've had as far as what to improve on our audio system. So as of about a year ago, we had an analog audio system we used in-ear monitors that were wireless for the most part, and some of them were wired. I guess the kind of the back row folks were wired, and everything just ran through a regular Allen and Heath board. It was a good board, but the problem that we ran into was that if we had to do something, like let's say we had a practice on a Thursday night and then somebody needed to do something on a Friday or a Saturday, that would basically mess up the board and you were back to having to reconfigure your board every week and right before the service. And so it took a lot longer, and then we had a separate stage mixer for doing in-ear monitor mixes. Again, a lot of effort to get everything set up just the way you needed. And basically, it eliminated any use of the sanctuary for audio things between Thursday and Sunday. So what we did is we decided to do an upgrade, and again, this is just kind of the way that we were thinking about it. We had decent speakers and decent subwoofers, so that part was okay. Our in-ear monitoring system is a Shure system, and it was working pretty well. We didn't really have a problem with that. The problem that we had was that we had this kind of mixing problem, and we didn't have compressors, and we didn't have maybe the level of EQ that we would like to have. And so we opted to replace our board with a digital board. And we opted for the Behringer X32. We looked at the QU32 and a few other boards, and we are really, really happy with the purchase that we made. And for the price point that Behringer X32 is at, there's really nothing else that really compares to it. Now, at the same time, I've also mixed on Midas boards, high-end Midas boards, and they're better. There's just no question about it. And they're more complicated, but they can do more things. Now, that said, we are also using a digital snake, and so that means that there's essentially a piece of Ethernet cable that hooks into the back of the board, special cable that runs to the front, and will hook into a snake head, so you get 32 inputs and 16 outputs. Now, we bought the Behringer version of that. If I had this to do all over again, I would buy the Midas head, because the preamps are inside that head box, and the Midas preamps are better and smoother and sound better than the Behringer preamps. And it all works together. So you can plug a Midas head into your Behringer board. And so again, if I had it to do, once again, I would choose the X32 board because of the price point and where we were. Again, if you have more, I mean, you can obviously get a better board. And then be able to get the Midas head instead of the Behringer head, which it costs about twice as much. I think it's a little over $1,000, but it's a great head, and you get the better preamps coming into that board. So for us, the best expenditure of money was that. Now, as you can tell, there's a little echo in our room and things like that. We're going to work on some sound abatement and all of the different pieces, but we wanted to try to grow the system in the most practical way possible to try to do things that we got the most bang for the buck out of it. So for us, it was the X32. Again, I would go with the Midas stage box, but that was a great solution, and we've absolutely loved it. It's done everything we've needed. It has a few limitations, but they're really minor compared to what it gives us.